My name is Susan, and I live here in Clacton. Nigel Farage is my local MP.
I'm thoroughly enjoying the job.
We all pay him £94,000 a year to represent this town, but honestly, he's hardly ever here. So what is he doing with his time? Well, take a look at Parliament's register of members' interest. It turns out Farage has 12 other jobs on top of being our MP. 12. Job number 1. He works for a company called Direct Bullion, a gold coin dealership based in Mayfair. Here he is shilling for them.
I've decided this is the right company to be with.
They paid Farage £280,000 since he became my MP last year. That's more than the cost of an average house in Clacton. Job number 2. Farage also works for a company called Nomad Capitalist. They advise multi-millionaires on how to avoid tax by getting second and third passports from foreign countries, and they urge people to leave the UK so they don't have to pay their taxes here. The same taxes that are needed to pay for the UK's public services like healthcare, education, welfare and pensions, not to mention local services like transport, waste collection, public order and safety. Since Farage became an MP, Nomad Capitalist has paid him £40,000. Job number 3. Farage works for an American outfit, AZ Liberty Network. He flew to their conference in Arizona to speak at a meeting of extreme faith groups and anti-abortion activists. They paid him £13,000. Another American company based in Tennessee paid him £7,400 to give a speech. And another, based in Alaska, paid him £26,000 again to make a speech. He's also a commentator for Sky News, not the one we watch here.
Nigel, lovely to see you, mate.
Farage works for Sky News Australia. Not sure what that's got to do with Clacton. They pay him £25,000 a year. Meanwhile, the front desk of the police station behind me closed this summer, our street lights are switched off at night, and our bus services are woefully inadequate. It'd be nice if Farage pulled his finger out and did something about that. Jobs 7, 8, 9. Farage has made tens of thousands of pounds posting to Google, Facebook and Elon Musk's X platform. Job number 10. The Daily Telegraph pays him £48,000 a year to write stuff like Why I Agree with Liz Truss 100%. Job number 11. Farage presents a show on GB News. He gets paid around £400,000 a year for that. And he's got a neat little trick to reduce his tax bill. You see, he diverts money from his TV show into his private company, which then means he only pays 25% corporation tax on the profits instead of 40% income tax. And finally, job number 12. My MP earns between £10,000 and £27,000 a month recording videos for fans on a site called Cameo.
Happy birthday, Hugh Janus. I've heard you're a massive fan.
He's made around 3,000 of these videos since the election. In total, his 12 extra jobs have paid him £1,182,498 since he became an MP. No other MP comes close to that. Meanwhile, he's got one of the worst voting records in Parliament. Nice work if you can get it.
The idea that the Labour Party are on the left is completely incoherent. This is a party that have done everything they can to protect power and wealth in this country and to appease Nigel Farage. So it's not for me to say to people, don't vote Labour because you're going to split the vote. It's Labour's job to offer a better solution. I think they're way past that point. People have lost complete trust in them.
Zach Polanski held no quarter as he took a serious swipe at the Prime Minister during a Sky News interview this week. The Green Party leader smirked as the apparently ill-informed host asked him what he thought about accusations that the party's recent rise in popularity was splitting the vote on the left. His reaction highlighted some direct cut-the-crap facts, which are refreshing to see identified on a mainstream platform that think anybody to the left of Gordon Brown is a hardened communist. Let's see what's happening.
You'll be aware that there'll be people that say, well, hang on a sec, Zach, you know, if you want to challenge the surging popularity of reform, if you want to kind of continue to push against the Conservatives, then are you at risk of fracturing the left? What would you say to those people that say, hang on a second, like the best way to counter this maybe is, with all due respect, Labour, because it's established and much, much bigger, rather than the Greens?
Well, the idea that the Labour Party are on the left is completely incoherent too. If people wanted low-fat Nigel Farage, they would vote for Nigel Farage, not Keir Starmer. And history has shown us time and time again that if a Prime Minister or someone who wants to pretend they're on the left constantly appeases the right by talking about Island of Strangers, by extending indefinite leave to remain, by protecting the wealth of the super rich, all that happens is people laugh at them and they go and vote for the right anyway. What the Green Party are doing is saying not just to people on the left, but frankly anyone in this country that wants a politician and a politics that is not in vested interests, that is not in the pockets of the corporations who are destroying our environment, destroying our democracy and destroying our communities, but a party that genuinely serves people, that stands for people rather than profit, then that party is the Green Party. And my only sole mission is to make sure that people have an alternative, that we can make hope normal again. So it's not for me to say to people, don't vote Labour because you're going to split the vote. It's Labour's job to offer a better solution. I think they're way past that point. People have lost complete trust in them. And that's why I don't intend to be concerned by Labour or disappointed by Labour. In May's local elections right across England and Wales, including in the Senedd, we intend to replace Labour at the ballot box.
Completely correct. I couldn't agree more. Labour's lurch to the right created a vacuum within the democratic socialist space, and while Starmer has been busy fulfilling the double fishhook prophecy, Polanski has been reaching out to people's real concerns and rejecting the mainstream hyperbole of immigration and the other non-issues that the right-wing focus on, such as what pronouns people use, and so on. Other attempts to knock the Green Party have included a Times Radio podcast. Well, literally, at the same time they were predicting that the Greens including more societal issues into their political remit was deterring voters, the membership went up by another few thousand. These great oracles didn't seem to be aware that in just a matter of weeks, Polanski has led his party to becoming the third biggest in the UK, with bold ambitions to make the most of their current trajectory and take on reform, something the current Prime Minister is clearly failing to do. This interview, along with so many others, has displayed his capability in responding to questions live on TV and confidently backing up his bold policies that are definitely getting the public's positive interest. The fact that the mainstream media are clearly rattled by his sudden popularity shows that he's hitting a nerve. For years now, socialists in England have been devoid of real representation in the House of Commons. The word hope is being realistically used again once more, and the last time it was uttered was when Jeremy Corbyn was leader of the opposition, and now with your party, as it's currently being referred to, making tracks after a false start, that hope could yet be realised.
We offer real hope.
It is quite simple because actually privatisation was the experiment and it's a failed experiment. We have water companies who are pumping sewage into our rivers and charging us extra for the privilege. They are pumping dividends to their shareholders while they're pumping sewage into our water. So the very obvious answer here is to nationalise the water companies. We need to bust through the myths. It doesn't take money, and actually you don't need to agree with me on that. You need to agree with the shareholders who are saying our water companies aren't worth much money at all because of the years of misconnections, the years of leaked pipes.
The shareholders are going to be relaxed about not getting any money for their shares.
No, they won't be relaxed about it, but they can't say it's not worth anything and then say you're going to have to charge the taxpayer to bring it back. Ultimately, if we had a government that had any conviction or integrity whatsoever, they would be facing down the water companies on this rather than once again, just like in the last conversation, pushing money towards private capital, which should be our money, our assets, our wealth. It's time to take it back.